regular meeting of the Morgantown Utility Board for Tuesday, March the 9th, 2021. We had a couple of minutes in the read ahead. The first is for the regular meeting from February 9th, 2021. If we don't have any corrections or deletions, have a motion to approve those.
I move to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of February 9th, 2021 as submitted.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the regular minutes of the regular meeting from February 9. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so moved. Then we had the special meeting from February 22.
I move to
move to-
approve the minutes for the special meeting of February 22nd, 2021 as submitted.
I second.
Okay. Motion and a second to approve the minutes of the special meeting February 22, 2021. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We'll move on to the public portion. Anybody call in or write in? Mike, does anybody want to?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. Then we'll move on to new business, the TV inspection truck.
Okay. Well, last year, right about the time that COVID was starting to hit, we'd advertised for a new camera truck. The camera is what allows us to inspect our sewer lines, stormwater lines, and make sure that, we have a breakage or an obstruction or something there that we can see it and even look up at customer services. Our current truck and camera is about 19 years old, and it's a Q system, which is no longer supported by the manufacturer. And so they went out to bid last year, had a bid opening on March the 5th. And again, that was right in the middle of COVID. So decided, well, we were going to put this off, but we can't put it off any longer. We need to move ahead. And so Atlantic Machinery, which is the low bidder, they came in at right at, I think I put that in both. We had two bids, Atlantic Machinery and then Q's. Atlantic Machinery, the camera system they proposed came in at $314,000. And so we decided, well, rather than just spend all of that at one time, we would propose a financing. Debbie reached out to 3 different groups, including Atlantic Machinery, to see who could provide the best financing for the truck and camera. And so we would put down about 20%, and BB&T was our best loan at 1.72%, and that's a 36 months loan that we're going to take, or recommending we take out. And so it's a recommendation that the board accept the bid from Atlantic Machinery in the amount of $314,022 and accept the financing from BB&T for 36 months at an interest rate not to exceed 1.72%.
Okay. Sounds very reasonable.
Yes.
I have a question. The bids, of course, were open last March, and I noticed both of them bid a 2020 Ford F550. Is a 2021 Ford F550 substitutable in this case, or do we have to go with one that's a year old? Another way of putting it, how do we guarantee that it's low mileage and not a used vehicle, given the age of the bids that were provided?
Well, it's my understanding that it's a new vehicle, Tom, but let me get back to you to be 100% sure on the year model that it will be a 2021.
Okay.
If there's a 2020 available, that size of a truck, there may very well be the 2020 still available on the lot that are new.
Well, what I'm thinking then, if you have an older vehicle that's on the lot and the new ones are out, oftentimes they give a discount just to move it off the lot. So it's just a question that came up in my mind, whether it's going to be, if it's a new one, I have no problems. I would think if it's a year old and they're trying to move it, we should be able to get a more of a discount, I would think.
I'll get back, check that and get back to you.
I mean,
Well,
JT's
the
got
other-
more experience with vehicles and what happens when.
You might open up something though, because they may be willing to give you a 2021 to keep the bid, but
Right,
that's all they can have. And if you're
Right.
going to ask them to discount the 2020, they may ask you to give them the increase for the 2021.
I was copied on an email from Chris Linger, the engineer, and it is a 2021.
Yeah,
okay, good,
Oh, okay.
good.
I figured that's what they would do. They didn't want to
Yeah.
lose the business.
Oh, I figured so.
And what you don't know, Tom, is, or we don't know, is the 2021 may have a bigger rebate than the 2020 because Ford plays crazy games with their internal rebates. So they may be better off to sell you the 2021. Who knows what the rebate scenario is.
Right.
So, okay. So we need a motion.
Yes, we do.
I move to approve acceptance of the bid from and award a purchase contract to Atlantic Machinery Incorporated in the amount of $314,022 for the purchase of a TV mainline / lateral inspection truck to further authorize the finance of said purchase through BB&T government financing via a 3-year loan at an interest rate not to exceed 1.72% to approve the execution of a borrowing resolution by the board as required by BB&T and to authorize the general manager to execute all documents related to the award, purchase agreement, and financing arrangement.
I
I'll
second.
second. Oh, sorry, Barbara.
That's all right.
Did one of you get the second in? Okay. All right. So we have a motion and a second to approve the acceptance of the bid from Atlantic Machinery as well as the financing from BB&T.
Oh, one
Questions on
question,
the-
I have a question. Has it changed to their new corporate name, whatever it is, Truity from BB&T, or is it still BB&T?
They're changing their name. You'll see BB&T now Truist
Okay.
on documents.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes unanimously. Investment policy update.
Okay, we need to update our investment policy because it has Tim Ball's name on it and it needs to be updated to my name. Our investment policy, it establishes the objectives and criteria for the management of our investments and sets those specific requirements to govern the related practices, such as stocks can't exceed 30% of the value of the total portfolio. Corporate bonds may not exceed 30% of the value of total fixed income portion of the portfolio, and bonds and other securities must be rated in one of the 3 highest quality rating grades of a nationally known rating agency. But we're just needing to update names and dates. There are no changes to the policy itself, and we just need a motion to do that.
Okay,
I'll move to approve the updated investment policy as presented with an executed copy thereof to be included in the minutes of the meeting.
Second.
okay, motion and second to approve the updated investment policy.
I have a
Question, Tom?
question.
Yes, sir.
I'm a little concerned. this is an investment policy that governs what we perceive to be the long-term investments that are made by the Morgantown Utility Board. And the desirable total return that's generated here would exceed the S&P 500 stock index and the Barclay Intermediate Government Credit Index. I don't see how you can generate a return like that if you only limit yourself to 30% maximum equities. Now, maybe I'm a minority in that regard, but have they been able to achieve those returns in the past under the guidelines that we've had for the investment policy in the past? Or is that something that needs to have a little bit more flexibility for the portfolio managers?
You bring up a good point, Tom. I was going to ask if we could, since this particular motion is just to change the names on the approvals, I'd still like to get an idea of what the investment policy is and go through it, look at some historicals and look at what the allocations are. Because 30% of the total portfolio for stocks and 30% of the fixed income,
Right.
what's the 70% of the fixed income in? I'd like to know what the whole composition is.
And how the performance is,
preceded me. Mhm.
and how that performed over time, because I'll tell you, if I had had that kind of investment in my TII craft at the university, I would have had a significant less retirement at the present time than what I've ended up with. Not that I took unnecessary risk by a much higher allocation in my portfolio mix, but I think it's just maybe too conservative. And the portfolio managers should have a little bit more discretion as they shift between the equity and fixed income portions.
Can we schedule a review for the next meeting or sometime in the near future? You know, or the meeting after that?
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think
Typically we've had the banks or whoever were with BB&T or whomever to come and give us the annual presentation. Is that not correct, Deb?
That's correct. We could arrange that. We just had a review with them in the past month, so we can
Okay,
arrange
that
that.
would be good.
We may want to open it up too to see, to get bids on from other advisors.
Well, it would also be of interest to find out what the portfolio charge is for the investment managers. It shouldn't be more than 1% of the effective size of the portfolio, but I would be curious. There's a lot of questions I think that we need to resolve, but I think we can go ahead and approve the change of Mike as the principal and then come back and review, as Karen said, the nature of the performance over time, how that compared with the guidelines that were espoused in the investment portfolio policy.
How long have we had BB&T in this? Anybody know?
More than 15 years.
I was going to say, good while.
Okay.
And that's an important consideration because there are a lot more of them out there today than maybe I had 15 years ago.
And I have not been extraordinarily impressed with other BB&T performance metrics, so I would be curious to see how they compare to other advisors.
Well, we can have them give us a presentation, Deb, Mike.
Absolutely.
Open it up to questions and we can ask them anything we want, I guess.
And it might be interesting to see what other utilities that have sizable portfolios have as their managers. And is there a way by which there's some pooled management funds out there that we just basically would contribute to that pooled fund, again, giving a lot more leverage to the investments that we have made in this case?
We might even explore the state management, because Craig Slaughter manages the West
Right.
Virginia Investment Management Board. He does a killer performance.
Right.
Okay. So do we had a motion and a second. We had a couple questions. Do we have any other questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Okay, Mike, old business, Cobin Creek.
Okay. All right, Cobin Creek Reservoir. Although we're having some nice weather this week, we're still in the winter shutdown. Jim expects to see Canal Stone mobilize next month and get back to work. Hopefully, we're going to see some real progress really in May. I believe, aren't we, Jim, for the actual construction to begin?
Yeah, they plan to remobilize the first week of April. They plan to start putting material back in the dam footprint probably about mid-May. It needs to warm up a little more to do that. And I'm expecting this summer to see some real progress, getting that thing to the top before the end of the construction season, hopefully.
The storms that we had experienced, there was no damage. They did a great job preparing for that, for heavy rains and wet weather. So Jim went up and checked everything out, and so we're pleased about that. On Fike Run, there's some minimal damage, but nothing that major. The contractor will have to come in and make a few repairs, but overall it held up very well. So good quality construction. If you don't have any questions, I'll move on to the wastewater project.
Okay,
Olin Shooty and MUB, we're still working on our proposed change order. We've been discussing it. We saw the first draft today, early this afternoon, rather. So we are going to be reviewing the change order, and we'll have a report back to the board once we finalize all the details.
fair enough.
Okay.
GM report?
Okay, well, after our last meeting, we talked about the vaccine. Since the last meeting, I'm very pleased to let you know that the Mon County Health Department contacted us. We have been able to get 16 of our employees vaccinated through the program. What we did, we chose those employees with some underlying health conditions to go first. The second shots are scheduled rather for the 19th of this month. We're also going to be able to get 5 additional employees with their first shot of the vaccine. So now we're working on an age-based system. So, and several of our employees, especially some of our older folks like me, they're getting them in their home counties that do not live here in Mon County. So we are seeing some improvement there. And so we're very appreciative of the Mon County Health Department. We're still keeping the office closed. We will continue to evaluate it, and as the vaccines, as more employees are vaccinated, and we're seeing a good steady drop in the virus, then we'll reevaluate getting open to the public again. Any questions?
Mike, I would just say, and I'm sure you guys are all aware of it, but with the WVU is offering the shots to 50 years and older. And yeah, and that was, my wife and I are between 50 and 65. So we both got on that website, and we're able to make an appointment like lickety split. So I don't know if you're in a MUB employee or not. I mean, I think it's a lot easier if you're in that age bracket to get the shot now.
When you say get on the website, do you mean the WVU website or just the main state one?
Well, we got on they have like a My Chart on WVU.
Oh, okay.
And if you go on if you make yourself a chart, then you can schedule your appointment right there online. And if you're 50 years old, it goes right through. If you're less than 50, there's a red flag comes up.
Yeah, I was just curious for my
Yeah,
parents.
but it's on that My Chart thing. I don't know. My wife did it, but
Thank
yeah,
you.
it was pretty slick, and so anyway,
Well, we did encourage all of our employees to go on the vaccine.gov site and get registered. So that's
well, I
what we,
can tell you that we were on 3 different wait lists, if you would, and got no phone calls to, schedule our appointment. But when we got on my chart, we went right through. So if you're waiting for them to call you, I think you're going to be last in line.
a lot of options out there apparently.
Yes.
Okay, well, we will definitely check that out and steer employees in that direction.
Yeah. Okay.
The
All right.
industrial park project, Morgantown Industrial Park project, rather, E.L. Robinson has hit the ground running. The preliminary engineering report is completed. The environmental report's completed. So we're very pleased with the progress they've made so quickly since our special meeting. We're in contact with the en route. We're in contact with all the partners. In fact, we had a meeting today with the Mon County Development Office and Glenn Adrian, and Jeff and I met with them and just talking about schedules and so forth. And so we're all on the same page. We're all moving in the same direction, and we're really pleased with the progress we've made so far.
Awesome.
Mike, driving by on the interstate, I noticed that they've already started logging up there.
Yes, yes, indeed. And I believe they've had some, they're working right now with bidders to start moving some earth. And so that was part of our discussion Jeff and I had with Mr. Adrian today. I think they're going through that process this week and having contractors on site. And they have a very aggressive schedule.
I'll say, I can't believe how quickly this is working.
Are the contractors on site coordinating with E.L. Robinson regarding the excavation so that we don't have to, in some cases, have to move the dirt twice?
That will occur. But not today. But it will happen as we progress through the project.
Okay.
I have a couple other items to talk about here. A couple meetings back, we talked about transitioning over to PIA and the thought of maybe hiring a broker to help us do that. Debbie has been working with PIA representatives, and now that Debbie has had the opportunity to really get in some in-depth discussions, we don't really think we're going to need to do that now. The services that they're going to be able to offer, I think we're going to be able to work with them internally and get our folks transitioned. And I think it's going to work out very well, and we won't have to go to that extra expense.
Good.
Great.
I want to also share just this evening before the board meeting, I received a call from Jessica Kramer with Senator Capito's office, and they've asked if I would zoom into the Committee on Environment and Public Works next Wednesday to speak about some of the challenges that we're facing, especially with funding. And I'll be working with Jessica a little bit more and getting some more of the facts. But right now, the committee meeting is scheduled for 10 o'clock next Wednesday morning. So I'm sure it'll be a WebEx or Zoom or something like that is how we'll do it. But I thought that, that would be a good opportunity to talk about, the biggest challenge we face is money, right? We'd like to see some money come out of Washington, D.C., especially when there's a mandate to do something. It'd be awful nice to see the dollars flow with the mandates.
Would you send us the information about the time and what we can do in order to log on, or is it going to be, it should be open to the public, unlike the West Virginia legislature's public hearings, but It'd be nice, it would be nice to be able to see you and hear the representation. The other point is, if they're looking for shovel-ready projects, we have shovel-ready projects. In fact, they're already shoveling.
Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, sir. We are ready to move, but I will get those details from Jessica, and I'll be sure to share those with the board.
Okay. All right. Any board member issues or topics you want to bring up to the staff?
Question. A couple months ago, or I think it was a couple months ago, a couple meetings ago, I think we approved funding for a continuous water quality monitor or data logger in the MON. And I just wondered if that got installed or if we got that yet.
I'm going to let Jim field that question, Sarah. I know that we're still waiting on some components to come in, but Jim can give you the specifics.
You're correct, Mike. We do not have all the components yet to launch that. As soon as we get them, we will put that in the river, but as of now, it's not in place.
Great. No, I was just, for no reason whatsoever, other than I was doing water quality monitoring on the MON the other day, and it reminded me that we were going to do that. So excited to see that at some point.
We're getting closer.
Any idea when you're going to have all the stuff you need?
We think we'll have everything before summer. That's what we're being told. So we're hoping that happens, and that way we can get it out there in decent weather and get it operating.
Do you know what the holdup is?
I think it's just delivery of some of the components are taking a little longer than we thought. I'm not sure if it's COVID related or what, but we're just having some delays in getting the parts.
Okay.
I have a couple of questions. One, as we were developing the reservoir plans, we had indicated, and I think Tim had reached out to Bull Park about getting their ideas about a hiking trail that would be around the park. Have we heard any conversations back from Bull Park in that regard? Or maybe I'm mistaken. If I am, please correct me.
Around the park or around the reservoir, Tom?
Around the reservoir.
Jim, I'm going to let you field those questions.
We've not received anything official as far as a proposal. There have been discussions, but nothing's really developed as far as specific trail locations or even the scope of the project in general. So we don't have anything at this moment on that.
Well, I know the ball's in their park, but we haven't heard anything. Those figures. The second question is on the work that we're currently doing, the Pierpont Meadows Village sanitary sewer improvements. I see that once the upgrades to that sanitary line are made, that MUB will acquire a private sewer system. Will they be brought in at a special tariff, or will it be the same existing tariff? I'm not sure exactly where that's located. So I wouldn't know if it would tie in to the Cheat Lake sanitary system or MUB's general sanitary system.
Jim, can you field that question?
You know, I'm not 100% sure if that is Cheat Lake or MUB, but or the city. What's happening there is it's an existing system that we are doing upgrades to that we'll take over. But I'm not sure if that's in Cheat or MUB. I'd have to check that for you.
Well, if it's in the Cheat, I think the people should be notified that there is a different tariff.
Typically, we notify those customers when we take over the line. We give them advance notice. So, but there will be no special tariff. There'll be nothing.
Oh, I know that.
They'll be in whatever tariff the location provides for.
Well, that's my understanding. I just didn't know if in cheat or not.
Okay.
I will check.
Anything else, Tom?
I'm just not sure.
The only
So-
other thing I want to bring up is Mike is going to be in 2 weeks speaking to the Rotary Club of Cheat Lake. And we look forward to hearing his talk at that time. Thank you for agreeing to come
Oh, you're welcome.
via Zoom.
Zoom in, yes.
Okay. Any other topics, questions? Nope. Okay. So I guess that takes us to adjournment. Move to adjourn.
Wow, that was fast.
Great.
Good job, Mike.
Thank you.
All
Yep.
right. All right, guys.
All right, see you tomorrow. Thanks,
Okay.
AT. Good night,
you.
everyone.
Good night.
Thank you.
Okay.